Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a flip through of a junk journal that I've just finished. This is a crafting theme junk journal. It's got 3 signatures in it, and it's got a signature that you can put your own pages in as well, so that's sort of 4 signatures. I've done a little what do you call it, dangly thing on the spine of it, just with some ribbons and some sewing spools that I've just added little bits of fibres to. And I found a couple of thimbles. I just put a hole in the top and used it as a little bead, just to put on here. Some little stitch markers and safety pins, and I embroidered that little rose. Yeah, and the closure is a scarf that I got from the op shop that I cut up, and there's some pieces of fibre here, and it's just held on with a loop like that. So I'll show you the front. The front was the actual picture on a book that I gutted, and I really loved it, so wanted to make that the focal picture on here. And that's just a doily that I've cut the middle out of, and then added some little what do you call these, little embroidered flowers around with a little piece of measure tape, a little mini thread spool thing. And these here were they were long sized vintage knitting needles, and I cut them down and I put a little bit of hot glue on there, and then just coloured them in black so it looked like little mini knitting needles. And then on the top here we've got another stitch marker, and I've just put some random stitching in there, a little pin, and yeah, a little word on there and a button. And then on the back I used the another part of that same front doily. I actually covered this in some cheesecloth, and picked a word out of the dictionary, and that's a piece of wallpaper, and just some lace and stuff, and then some of Tim Holt's little figures. The inside cover also has a little Tim Holtz figure there, and they're just it's a little book that I made with a the little you know, the labels that come on threads like this, and then I've just popped it into a little pocket. That's just a little notepad. And then the back cover excuse me, back cover is similar, where I've just used the rest of the doily and a little figure on the back. Now this album's quite a chunky monkey. It's very decorated and full, if you could say that, but there's heaps of journaling space. So let's get started and have a flip through. So I've already showed you the inside cover here, and all the pages that I've used in here are from vintage craft books or sewing books or crochet knitting books, etc. So yeah, that's actually the book spine that I got off the original book, this original book. And all through the book I've used this rose stencil just to tie it all together. This little die cut. And I wanted to include some, you know, abbreviations, that they are crochet abbreviations. And yeah, knitting book, and then I've added all these stencils just to tie it in. Now this is a printout of one of my doilies. I've got some doilies that I have scanned and will be available soon in my Etsy shop. So I'll have the link up there for that soon, and you can yeah, purchase them. So this is a doily from my doily collection, and I've just got a little made a little journal card with a lady spinning. And there's just other little cards in there as well, and little notes, and that's in a pocket with lace. This here is a, oh, that came off there. That's supposed to be pinned onto there. I'll pin it on later. That was just a little tag that I made from one of the stitches, you know, the knitting stitches. And then I've just made journal cards from pictures out of the book. And that's a piece of piano roll. And I've edged it there with a piece of fabric that you would, you know, find the number colour code on. Yeah, so I've got tea-dyed paper in there. Papers that are from different craft books. And I've just added these stencils to it, just to tie it all in together. Different rose stencils, different types of writing paper. There's a pocket there, bag pocket, with just a nice little picture I found out of a book. This little side tuck here, I found this picture in a book of threads and made it into a journal card. I found this stamp that stamps, you know, the lines, but I also made myself a line stamp and just carved it out of the rubber as well. If you go onto my Instagram account, you'll see me do that. Pop over, I'll leave the link for my Instagram account below, and you can see some of the things that I haven't done here on YouTube there. So yeah, I've just turned that into a journal card, and that just goes in this little tuck space here. This is some vintage lace. It's absolutely gorgeous that I found at the op shop. And I've just attached a needle threader and little safety pin and little flowers and stuff like that onto that. So we go over the page. Oh, that's actually a piece of wallpaper that I found at the op shop. Okay, and all through this book I've used the labels off thread. You know, you'll get a ball of thread from the op shop and it'll have the little paper label inside, and I've used these as little page tags as well. See, there's the other side of that picture, that thread picture back there. So yeah, I've just used whatever I can as tabs and things. Here I made some of the English paper piecing. I had some of these tucked away that I'd made a long time ago, so I got them out and used them as a page tag. There's an envelope stuck to that, so it folds out. And inside I've created a journaling card out of the abbreviations for knitting. Okay, and just pop that in there. Oh, around that way. There's another journal card in here as well, and that just folds up in there like that. There's washi tape on the edge of that, and then I've just added some stenciling and little die cuts. So I've just, you know, the stenciling I've just put throughout just to tie all in those plain pages as well. Here is some scrapbook paper that I got from Spotlight. I love the Aboriginal paintings on that. And another little tuck card with a journal card on the back. See, I've used this this line stamp for the back of that. And you might see at the op shop little sewing packs, you know, those emergency sewing packs. I grabbed a heap of them and stuck them on there too, just to give some interest. Here's a little stitch diagram, and I've used that as a tab here as well, and it says what sort of stitch it is, and just put little pictures on there as well. This here is different colours of wool. Is it called no, not batting. You know, it's just before you spin it. I can't think of the name of it now. It's carded wool that you would wool felt with or do spinning with. So I thought I'd just put a range of colours down there and make it look interesting. And the tea-dyed paper, just added some lines to that. There's another journal card that's just from a picture from a book, and it's just held in by a little paper clip. This here is a vintage handkerchief, I think. Yeah, and it's got little flannel flowers attached to it, and I just pop that in there. Complete book of crochet. I just love putting all these sorts of pages in. Added a really pretty stenciling down there. Some nice lace on the edge. Here's another, this one's a really vintage picture. I think I got it off the internet, of crochet hooks and their sizes. And I've just added this lady from, it was like I said, all craft books or sewing books or whatever, and I've made her into a little tuck spot and put some measure tape down there. That there's a little ruffle that I made out of sewing pattern. Let your life be your art. And I've just put little sayings like that all the way through. Here's a little embroidered little pocket, and there's some buttons there that I've made into a little little writing pad in the back, and that's just a little journal card like that. And I just added them on with a paper clip just to hold them in place. There's a little bit of rick-rack on the edge of that one. This one is another printed doily from my doily collection, and I've added that onto the page so that it actually, that's vintage safety pins that I've made into a journal card. There's another journal card in there too, and I've actually put it over the page. So I made this one a pocket, and then over the page this one's a flip out with some vintage writing paper in there as well, and space to journal. So yeah, I got this black spool of thread, and it breaks quite easily, but I got it because I loved the wooden spool that it was on. Plus, when I'm doing things like this, I just grab a little piece off and just add it to the back of the you know, your little cluster of that you're putting on. Yeah, just to add a little bit of interest to it. All right, so we showed you that one. It's a nice big rose stencil, and then I've just got other paper between, other journaling space, and this came out of a some sort of cross stitch book or something like that. Not cross stitch. I can't remember now. It was a vintage book. This came out of a oh gosh, I can't remember now. It was another craft book, and I've just made it into a page tag just with all the colours, and there's some washi tape on there too. There's a little journal card there, or a little tag, and I've put a few other little tags in there too. That just sits out like that. I just put a bit of fabric on that one. There's the back of that Aboriginal print with some of the sample colour numbers off fabric. This one here is from an old photo album, and I think I put a video up of me making these, or something similar with the bird one, and it had actually like a glassine paper in it, so I've used the glassine paper to put back in there. And there's a picture of a lady making something. So it's just like a little window. This here, I crocheted that little embellishment, and this little embroidered flower. So keep going, just different papers from different crafty books and magazines. There's another piece of that wallpaper, and here I've used these stitch diagrams as little pockets. Just made 3 little pockets, and I've put in there a little writing pad, another little piece of that emergency, you know, sewing kit, and these are little labels. I got these off the internet, I think, old thread labels, and I just put some writing journaling space on the back there. There's another little button card, and turned it into little like a little journal card. And this one here, this is a die cut spool, and I've just put a little length of lace on that. There's the other side of that paper bag, and I've got a little note popped in there with some washi tape and some of my stamps that I made. Yeah, if you go over to Instagram, you can see me making some of these, just different bits of ephemera. Alright, some more writing paper, tea-dyed paper. This here came in a bag of stuff I got from the op shop. It was a thread storer for when you're doing a project. So I just added some of the corresponding threads that looked the same onto there and just made it into a page edge, which I thought looked pretty cool. And added some of my tags and little tickets that I made. And here's a page of the piano paper with a nice big stencil on it. There's the other side of that doily, and I've just added some pattern paper to the back of that and a pair of scissors. There's a little flip out envelope. It's got another little few different little spools like that in there that she could, whoever gets it can write on it, and yeah. And that's just a torn piece of, I think it was a calendar, that torn piece of paper there. Okay, this was a bookmark that I made from a doily. I've just folded it in. I'll show you. It goes on the corner of the page here. And I've just folded the doily in and hand sewn that together to make a little page bookmark. So that just sits on the page like that, which I thought looked really cute. More pictures out of some retro like crochet books. There's another journal card I got out of a book. Take time to make your soul happy. And I used these snap clips. You might have seen all them at the op shop, just as a little corner tuck thing. I found this. This was in a bag of scraps that I got, this piece of embroidery. Looks like machine embroidery, but it's really cute. And I just made that as a page edge. Put a little stitch marker on there. All these little things I've got from the op shop. I've salvaged from the op shop little crafty sections, you know. This was a page from the original book. Another crafty page. This is the end of the first signature. Now the middle, oh, that was the middle of that signature. All the middles have got little buttons on it. This one's got a little fabric button. All right, signature number 2. All similar stuff. And I put the stamp there to write on, or the stencils of the roses. This one's got all the different size crochet hooks. That one's from a Woman's Weekly book. Yeah, an old Woman's Weekly, a book that showed all the pages from vintage Woman Weeklies. Now they were from a book, and I cut them out and made them look like little buttons, but I made little tags that tuck in those spaces like that. And that's the back of that. Some more piano paper. And there's a little striped pocket, and I've just added little bits and pieces to it with a nice little saying from a book. And that's a piece of the wallpaper, and that was I salvaged that off an old tablecloth, which is pretty cool. It's some hand embroidery, and I'll just use it as a page edge. And that was on the wallpaper. Sort of furry, that wallpaper. It's pretty nice. All right, keep going. I've got another one of the. That's a tag off some clothing. And I've added a flip out envelope here. This is a card that I made, maybe a few videos back. Yeah, so I've just tucked that card into there. I thought that would be nice to tuck into there. And just added some numbers and that. They were from like Tim Holtz type ephemera. Here's another one of the printed doilies. This one's gorgeous. And I've just added lines and the stenciling to it, and it just really dresses them up. Makes them look really cool. Now this box here was this pink zipper. And I've used this pink zipper, it's a vintage zipper, as a bookmark. But I undid the box and used the box as a page edger and plus a pocket. And we've got just some little tags and little things in that pocket as well. And it's cool because it says, you know, the pink zipper, and I've used part of the pink zipper thing over here. It's got people's writing on it and stuff like that. So it was a really old zipper that I found at the op shop. There's some more of the Aboriginal paper. I've used that colour thing again that I got out of a book. This was a black page, so I put white stenciling and lines on that, and you could use a gel pen to write on that page. And I liked using the stitches here as just little tabs on the pages. There's another stitch here that I've used as a tab, and I've stuck the actual stitch name on there, which says single rib. Let yourself glow. This is the middle of the second signature, and they are some pictures that I got off the internet that I printed out and made into journal cards and sewn around them. And I've just used this then, this printed doily as a double pocket, which I think looks really cool. I may put some words on there, I'm not sure yet. And that signature has also got some buttons, vintage buttons hanging off it. And then we keep going, and more tabs used with the knitting things. Oops. And then I've got another English paper piece in, what do you call it, hexagon here. There's a tab. And there's the other side of that black paper. Another tab here using the thread that you know, the little round of thread you'd get, the little round paper thing you'd get out of the thread. And this here, I haven't done anything with it, but I just really love it. It was a big bunch of ribbon that I got, and look how wide it is and beautiful. So I've just used that as a bookmark. It's got some lace on the edge. Now on Instagram, I showed this page on Instagram, and it's just got that's a piece of the sewing pattern, and I've turned it into a journal card. And this was just an old vintage receipt that I printed out on some tea-dyed paper off the internet. I got this picture here. This was a pack of cards that I got from the op shop, which I thought looked beautiful. And this bird here was a die cut, and I've just printed on some grid and did some little cross stitch on that. Yeah, and it just brings that doily up beautiful when you add the lines and the stenciling. It's a little piece of the fabric that's on the closure. It's a little tag. This here was a bigger piece of English paper piecing that I sewed together, and I made it into a flip and backed it with some tea-dyed paper and lines and stenciling. I thought that was a cool addition to that. There's a paper doily and tea-dyed paper. You know, there's still, any of these papers you could add some white gesso over and write on it or whatever. You know, there's still plenty of space. I know I've heavily decorated this, but there's a lot of space to write on. A lot. This was another doily, and I've converted it into a little book. It's actually this one. That was the printout, and I made it into a little book, which is pretty cute. And just did the pamphlet stitch with some ribbon, some thin ribbon. And I've tucked it into this little thing here. This is some little That's a die that I just put a bit of thread on, and yeah, put a bit of lace on the edge of that. So we'll keep going. Stenciling. That's a doily. Oh, that's the end of the second signature. Third signature, that's a doily that I printed out. I put a bit of journaling space on there. That was a page out of this original book. And just cut some pictures out. Cut a little buckle die and some little Tim Holtz bits and pieces. This is another doily that I've made into like a sort of like a little belly band thing, and cut a piece of picture out of a crochet book, turned it into a journal card, and just tuck it down in there. Okay, this page had some measure tape and another one of the retro ladies out of a sewing book. Over here I've put 2 vintage knitting needles, and I've just sewn, I actually sewed it onto this and left little spaces to tuck the knitting needles down into, which looks really cool. That was backed on the wallpaper. Here's a little pocket here with a bee die, and if you pop over to my Instagram, I've converted this one. I put the this was a stamp and I decorated it as a journal card, but then I've poked holes all around here and put the gills in this mushroom with embroidery thread, and then I just covered it up with a journal space on the back. So I thought that looked cool. Put a mushroom sticker there. Here's another pocket, just with bits and pieces out of old vintage books. Collect beautiful moments. I just love how all the stenciling made this journal come together. There's a piece of this. There's a bit of wool on it. Another flip out envelope with just some tags that I've made, journal cards. That came out of another vintage sewing book. You've got the sewing tabs. A bit of fabric down there. And paper doily. There's some little, that's little ribbon flower that I made. Now this here, I got a heap of them from the op shop, these fans, and I just made it into like a little belly band thing. That's a journal card that I made with stenciled the back, and it just pops down in there like that. So I just glued it either side there. Tea-dyed paper, and this is the middle of the last or the third signature. In these pockets here, I've just glued this in here. Oh no, I think I sewed it in. Oh no, I glued that in, and I've just glued it here as well. So all these are open, and in this one I've covered one of those emergency sewing kits. It's like a little matchbox. Yeah, like a match. You know, those match, what are they called? Matchbooks or whatever. So I just popped that in there, and there's a journal card in there, and I'll put some safety pins on. You could hang things on that. And then, oh, there's got some buttons too on the middle of that signature. And more tea-dyed paper. This came, oh, I seen this at the op shop, and I thought, I don't know what it came off. I have no idea, but I thought it looked cool. So they just gave it to me for nothing. So I just made that into a journal card and put some black lace on it as a belly band. That's a little heart that I've made out of a woolen blanket. Another tag off some clothes, European fabric. And then that's the other side of the original paper. doily. There's just a little pocket there. Some bits and pieces. The cotton little tags. I've got more stenciling, Fido paper. See, there's plenty of spaces to write. Plenty, even though it's heavily decorated. This here, I got, this is actually real thread. I found this at the op shop. How cool is that? It's a rainbow of thread. And I thought, oh gosh, I'm going to get that and use it as a belly band. And doesn't it look cool? I actually, what do you call it? Scanned that. So it could be in my, in with my doilies when I put them on Etsy. This is a photo, sorry, a paint chip just from Bunnings, and I've turned it into a journal card. It's got a little spool of thread in there. I'll tuck that in there. This is an envelope pocket with little bits and pieces in there. These were cross-stitch things, so I'll just put them throughout the book as well. Here's another one of these little flips. Oops. Oh gosh, better put that back on there. That I made up with this glassine bag and the photo frame, and put another little person in there. I'll leave that off and put it in. That came off the paper clip, but it's another one of those little dangles that I made and crocheted. I'll put a bookmark in there so I remember to do that. Yeah, and some lacy things. There's the other side of that doily type belly band thing. And on this one here, I've cut out a picture from a retro magazine or book and turned it into a little writing pad. So that tucks in there. And more tabs with the thread. There's another doily printed out that I've used as a flip space. And some of that fabric edging. This one's got another paper, English paper piece in tab, another doily, and that's the last of it. That's the 3 signatures. Now this back signature is on elastic, so you can take anything out of here. Now what I've included in this back signature are planners, craft planners. And you can write your craft thing down, your hook size, your gauge size, your brand, the colour, etc, etc. So I've included that in pockets, and there's also some excuse me, also some grid paper, more planner paper, project planner paper and grid paper. That's what this back section is full of. Planner notes and paper, grid paper, to-do list, and just little notes and writing paper. So that's it. That is my chunky craft journal. So I hope you've enjoyed that flip through. I'll go back and put this little thing back on here. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that flip through, and pop over to my Instagram page. That's where you'll see some other things that I've made, and especially for this journal. And thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I hope you found something in here that, you know, might inspire you to put in your own journal. And, yeah, it gives me a thumbs up and a like and a share and all that sort of thing. And my next flip through will be of my Australiana journal. I've actually finished that too. I know I haven't done a lot on camera. It sort of put me off a little bit. A few people saying, you know, I've sort of subscribed here because I liked your card making, and I haven't done a lot of card making. I'm doing what just makes me feel happy at the moment, because I still have not been able to get to our storage bay, which is a real pain in the backside. So hang in there with me. I know I'm doing more different things at the moment, but that's okay. That's okay. I've got my husband working on a COVID testing site today, so I hope he stays safe. He's just doing traffic management on that today. So, yeah, we're all getting there. I'll put that in. There we go. All right. Hope you enjoyed that, and I will catch you again real soon. Bye.